Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Crystal and Misha Do Reality Reviews. Hey, Misha.
Hi, Crystal. How are you?
I'm great. I think I surprised. I told Misha something right before we
She
started.
dropped a whole bomb and then gonna play the intro. I was like, okay. I
Too
don't
bad
know
we don't
what's
have CMK
happening.
no more because that would have been a good
I'm sorry. I didn't know I
conversation to
was
talk
doing
about. No, it's okay. I don't mind you doing that, but Misha's like, Crystal, stop doing that. No, let's get it going. Hey, DeSalza, how are you doing?
Yes. Happy
Yes.
Sunday. Thank you for
Happy
joining us.
Sunday. Y'all. Okay. So so reunion part one just ended. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Sabrina of it all. You know what? I want to try something else here. Let's see what, oh, that's not going to work at all. Hold on. There she is. Okay. So y'all see her new background. Misha just did a new background. Now I'm trying to change the boxes on us. Sorry about that. Hey, Monique, how are you doing? Um, I was in shout out to Kamisha Reviews. I was in her live a little earlier, and I was like, when Monique gets in here, I gotta ask her what is happening. I was like, what? So, but let's talk about RTL first. Um, Sabrina, you
Did
got
you say
Sabrina,
Auntie had a live?
huh?
Did I miss Auntie's live? Is that what you said?
No, Kamisha did a live
Oh,
on something
Kamisha.
earlier.
Yes, I missed that
Yeah,
too. Okay.
but you got a whole, you got a lot of, we both got a lot going on. We both,
No,
I'm exhausted, y'all. I'm
Kamisha.
exhausted. Pray for Misha and I both. We got new jobs. She's got her graduate degree. Everything's, and then she got a whole baby over there. It's a lot.
Yes.
But anyway, so we got Miss Sabrina, and then you got Joy in the background, and you got uh oh gosh, my boy Monique,
Sure.
Tori. We got it was like Monique and I's man right there. So Misha had said something earlier that she likes his hair up. I actually don't mind his hair down either.
I
Um,
don't like it down. I like a well-groomed man.
yeah,
So when it's
well,
down, it just looks kind of
well, think about it.
hobo-ish.
No,
So I
well,
like
when it
when
was
it's
down
up.
at the retreat, though, he still had it well kept, though.
It didn't look well cut to me, but
Okay. So I do want to put my bid in to say who I thought was the best dressed as well. Um, Now, Misha, you said you liked what's her name? Um, Tina.
Tina looked bomb.
Very pretty and white with the embellishment all over. You know, though, I have to say I do like Joy's outfit. This is very Joy of her. This is the black. This is
I
just very
didn't
Joy.
understand the hair. It
What
was like the two-toneness. It wasn't even an ombre. It
that's not
just
ombre.
looked.
That's balayage. Isn't that balayage where it's gold? The one color at the bottom and then another color at the top.
I don't know. It
Mhm.
just looked like it was like she ran out of black crochet hair and then just crocheted the
No,
brown
you didn't.
on the. I don't know. That's just.
But I do have to say, I did like Ace's outfit because that was very Ace. She
I
had
didn't
she
see.
had
I saw
all of
her
the
from.
color,
I want to see her. Well,
and then it
it
was a
was
short
nice. I
dress.
didn't get a full glimpse, like the
She had
total picture of it.
all of the embellishment, and then she had the gloves. I said, "This is very Ace, though." You know, it was just it was a lot going on, but I said, "Oh, but this is very Ace." I do agree with you that Tina looked very pretty. Okay, so is this the scene? This is the beginning scene, but this isn't the scene with all her men, right?
No, this is her first scene where she basically said Tori got embarrassed because of Joy, because Joy made her comments and because everyone was there and everyone made it a big deal.
I don't agree with that. I do believe that Miss Thing had been talking about Tori this whole time. You can't say, oh, it was Joy's fault. It's not Joy's fault. You have been talking him up. Now, just because Joy, and yeah, you can say, oh, that was an assumption, but the assumption is based on fact. The assumption is based on
Based
the
on
fact.
what she said, yeah.
Yeah, is the you know, and just because you like the fact that Demetrius has been playing coy or cool this whole time doesn't mean that you haven't been talking up Tori this whole time. I do believe that she has been talking about Tori the whole time, But that full, and even Uncle Tommy, even Nephew Tommy said, I do want to talk about Nephew Tommy's outfit in a second. Even Nephew Tommy said, we were all shocked. I was shocked. I was very shocked. And
I
so
liked what he said.
just
What
before
Nephew
that
Tommy
15
said.
minutes, go
Yeah, the
ahead.
15 minutes. That was a good point. He caught that because she's like, well, Demetrius pulled me to the side. It was 15 minutes before the dinner, and he told me that he was gonna be more proactive with me and blah blah blah. And so he was like, a 15-minute conversation changed your whole mind, changed everything that Tori and you had and has done. And well, no, of course not. I'm like,
Yes,
what
it
did
did.
then why are you talking about that
So
then?
that was
Like,
you reciprocating. So in front of everybody else, what you could have done is like, you could have even went to Demetrius after the thing and said, even though I kissed Tori, I'm still interested in pursuing you. But no, you went and reciprocated with Demetrius, somebody that has not been putting in effort the whole time. Okay, so now we go. You and these shots. This is hilarious. Okay, so we got a little bit more insight, and then she even brought in Uncle Paul into this. So he did apologize that night, but she had already been talking it up, after he had left, after he had said, after he'd left the party. I think that she had been probably speaking to a lot of people that night. And then, of course, the game of telephone, it gets back to him. And so now Eric, he said, we have nothing to talk about. But then he said, let me apologize, fresh and clean. Let me apologize for what I did, for my actions. But the going left, she said that she said something, and then he starts cussing, and then she starts cussing back. It was just, I was like, y'all, stop. The kid's hair looked exactly like it always looks. It was just,
you know what?
it looked exactly the same.
But I was like, you could see, like, Eric was trying to mask the fed upness and be a gentleman and be the nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she kept going, well, no, you didn't. Well, no, that's not what happened. And that's when he was dropping the bombs and whatnot. Yes. And I was like, oh, okay. Like,
he was done. He was so fed up. He was so fed up, and he didn't want to have the conversation about it anymore. And she wanted to say how frustrated she was again, and how she was owed another apology. And he's like, we've already covered this. And he said that he wasn't rude. And she was like, wait, you weren't rude? The word wasn't rude. What did he say? You weren't rude? And I think that she's talking about the chipmunk comment and stuff like that. And sweetheart, you did go there. You did. And you shouldn't have gone there. But you did. Just admit that you did. You were frustrated. Say, hey, I do respect you. I was very frustrated with the whole situation. And I felt like you were, what did he say? Like you were demeaning my character. So I did go there. Yeah, he was definitely put out. He was definitely put out.
He was like, he kind of glanced over the fact, because we all saw the screenshots,
right?
And he kind of glanced over the fact that he was like denying that happened. He kind of glanced over that and was like, well, I apologize and blah blah blah, and I'm tired of talking about it, and it's, why are you pulling other people into it, and blah blah. And I was just like,
yeah. And so she did, I think that, and she wasn't, let me contain my thoughts. She wasn't trying to pull Uncle Paul into it, but she was saying, listen, I said immediately when it first happened, I didn't wait 2 days. A lot of people were saying, why did she wait? If it was such a problem, then why did she, pretend that everything was cool and everything? And she said, I said something immediately. And that's when she looked over at Paul and said, didn't I say something? And he said, yes, you did say that. I think that's all she was trying to do. But Eric was fed up. At that point, he was just like, I don't even want to talk about this anymore.
I'm kind of over it. Maybe because we've been talking about it on YouTube.
I have to say this. And I have to say this because we're about to get into this picture again. But I agree with you on this, that this reunion was, I've almost like this was the worst one. I just felt like this was
Yeah.
really boring, and it was just a really boring uh reunion. It was just
I
really
feel like
boring.
they focus too much on
I
Sabrina
agree.
and all these men. And I'm like, Sabrina did what she did. I mean, no answer now is really going to change anything. Like, let's move on to other stuff. But
I do think that when met with, like, she does like to play the game, and I think that because people just don't expect that from her, and men just don't expect that from her, but she likes the gameplay, she likes the competition.
I'm
So here we got,
interested in what you think about this whole Donovan
right,
telling Demetrius that they kissed.
okay, so there's two things I think. um he said that he was doing it out of, so one, I'm gonna go back. I'm not surprised. Sabrina said that she was very sexually attracted to Donovan. I'm attracted to Donovan. He's a handsome guy. He's from LA. I'm attracted to Donovan. So I wasn't surprised when she said that they kissed not once but twice, or it was like more than once, definitely, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then he said that the reason why I told him was because I saw that he's catching feelings for her, and out of respect, I did it out of respect. Um, it was a little bit out of spite, bro. It was a little bit out. Be
Yeah.
honest, it was out of spite a little bit. At the same time, you are already feeling like, that you're not liking Sabrina like that.
Mm-hmm.
You already know that you feel like she's not the one for you,
Right.
and maybe as your boy, you kind of feel like, I don't know that she's the right one for Demetrius either. So I'm just gonna blow up her whole spot. I don't like, and a lot of people weren't liking the way she treated Tori. So Donovan said, "I'm gonna use this little bit of leverage to go in and cut her off at the knees." It, I think he did. I think it was a little bit out of spite, but at the same time, he wasn't trying to get with her at all either. I don't think he was interested. I think he was attracted to her. I think all the guys were attracted to her, but except for apparently Laverne. But anything else, nah, he was trying to cut that.
Right.
Secondly, I really want to know what you think, because Demetrius told his mother, and I heard you say that you weren't sure how that went down.
Mm-hmm.
Told his mother that she kissed another man, and told his mother about the discrepancies of, he likes this girl, but I'm not sure about her. So if you go to your mother and say, hey, I like this person,
Exactly.
but I'm not sure about her, I don't know. So your mother's already getting your mother's kind of already
Biased.
sidelined.
Already biased.
Right, she's already biased. And if he's that close to his family and parentage, I kind of get. So Sabrina's like, I'm not sure that I should meet your parents. I'm not sure that I should meet your family members if she knows that I've kissed somebody else. So I see where she's at on that. Now, I'm very close to my mother, but at the same time, my mother's met very few of my exes. So I kind of see that. At the same time, it's so funny. I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate, and I saw this on another review show, that if you such a G, Sabrina, then why don't you just be honest? You know that, and this is the show. This is how the show is run, and this is the process, as you guys like to call it. Then say, hey, I did kiss somebody else, but I'm very interested in your son. If you're so interested in going through the process, so I'm playing a little devil's advocate, that why didn't she just do it? Right, all kinds of stuff. All kinds of hussies and heifers and all kinds of stuff. Because if that's her son, then she probably shouldn't have met him. She probably should have, she was trying to protect herself from being uncomfortable. But that's all.
Right.
Honestly, Sabrina's been doing this whole time is protecting herself. So go ahead. What do you think?
I agree. The perception will always be screwed. Like,
Mm-hmm.
even if they decided to date and he wanted to marry her, she would always be the woman who was kissing on all these men. And because the story's not gonna be she kissed Donovan. It's gonna be she was kissing all the men on the show.
How many other men did she kiss? Yeah.
She was laying it low and spreading it wide. It would have turned into a whole other thing. I just don't like that. I had a friend, we weren't even in a relationship, but I had a friend who was like that, who would like run and tell their mother everything. And then I started to see like the influence of like, you can't even think for yourself. Like your mom's perception, opinion, views overshadow your own. Like it was just, it's not something I would want to be around, or like not even my friends. I wouldn't even want my friends, let alone someone I'm dating, to have to run back to their mother. That just is.
I agree. That's why I said, I was like, how old are we? I just thought, well, there's some things up to absolutely talk to your parents about, talk to your mother about. But
is he still living in the mama's house? Is that why?
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know about that, but I'm just like, how old are you? Go deal with this on your own. How, you're gonna have to figure this part out yourself. So yeah. I
like what Shar 90303 pointed out. I couldn't figure out why Uncle Nephew Tommy didn't start the reunion talking to those that were voted off first early. What are they supposed to do now? They did they didn't let them talk though. Like they went to Corn Muffin, they went to Tina, and they both, like, everyone said like 3 words, and then it was Sabrina.
They didn't talk to Tina. They didn't talk to Tina. They didn't talk to or Laverne. Or not Laverne. What's his name? The guy that they said had a big butt. The guy.
Oh,
they didn't talk to him either.
Or something.
The first guy that got kicked off. And so here's my thing. I agree with this. They did a whole like a little round robin of the people that came in, as the new dates. But I remember last season, what's her name? Libba and other ones, they invited them to the show. They had the discussion with them, but they cut it. And Liv was like, I had, something to say, and they cut our segments. And I do wish they would have talked to them. I wish they would have give them at least 2 minutes and to say something. Tina did say that she just did not feel like it was, it just wasn't for her after coming in late like that. So I agree with that. Okay. I want to talk about this. A lot of people, first of all, I will start with this. I do like the bangs in her hair. I did not like her side part. This almond chestnut color, it's different. But honestly, I like this better than the side part. So as far as that is concerned, so I'm going to start there. Everybody, everybody had an issue with the side.
I feel like it aged her. Like, I feel like the bangs aged her a bit.
But honestly, the side part was not good. So the bangs aged her up and the side part aged her down. Like,
I don't know what the side part did. I don't know.
So here's the thing. A lot of people had a different takes on Precious this whole season, right? I do think, Sabrina and Precious are good friends. So we found that out. So I'm not surprised about that. Sabrina and Precious are good friends, right? But I do think that Sabrina was playing this game of telephone. So whatever was happening on the show or in the ladies' lounge or whatever, she's going back and calling Ace or calling Sabrina or calling Carmen or whomever. And even if they manipulated it, she does look like Tina after.
What's love got to do with it, child?
Yes, that is actually a very good comparison. But I think that she, why call all these people? If you're trying to get your own process going, then stop, you're starting this game of telephone. Now, however they interpreted it or what have you, that's how they interpreted it. But she started this game of telephone. Okay, so Laverne so Precious calls Ace and tells her that Sabrina, Tina, and who else? Carmen were on a plot against him. she said, I did not say plot against you. I did say that they were trying to have them not vote for you. Tina didn't pick up the phone and this, that, and the other. And Tina's like, okay, good, because I'm not a part of this whole situation, right? But Laverne, he said when he found out what happened, I'm going to handle it my way. I'm not going to have anybody tell me to that I'm not ready to love. I'm going to handle it my own way. I do think that Precious was on one this whole season, and a lot of people were saying, "Oh, maybe she was on something and stuff like that." I'm not sure about that. I do think other things have been happening. They're there, what, 12 hours, and some people were saying it wasn't because of the scene that they saw on camera, but how she was just moving the whole time after all of those hours, and I'm not going to say it's because of this. It's sweaty under those lights and all of the moving back and forth, and that dress is probably tight, all of these other things. I'm not going to say it's because of the sweat, because she wasn't the only one sweating under them lights and all of the other stuff. So, but she was popping off. She was giving it to them. So I do think that she's been playing kind of a game of telephone and accusing people. So yeah, that's it for now. I'm sure I'll remember something else. Go ahead.
Hey Ellen, hey
Hey,
Z,
Ellen.
hey Miss Creative. um Ellen, oh my god. But
Oh yes, the Golden Girls comment. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I
so
have something to say about that. Go ahead.
so with this whole thing, my thing is Precious got a bad edit. So I feel like she's allowed to feel some type of way, especially if Laverne's coming on camera saying she said this, she said that. But here's my whole thing with the whole he said, she said. I'm like, verbatim, it sounds like y'all are saying the same thing. Like, I didn't really hear the difference in what Laverne said Precious said and what Precious said she actually said. I'm like, there's no real significance. Like, there's no difference to me. Like, so, but I feel like Precious should be able to defend herself. Yes, she was on 100, but again, and here's the thing, for Demetrius to be the one to say, "Are you high?" I'm just like, I feel like Demetrius is so like cool, zenned out. So anyone showing any type of emotion or reaction is like, "You high, you on drugs, you doing too much." And I'm like, no, sit down. Just because you choose to express yourself in a different way doesn't mean she has to be on drugs just because she feels a way about how she was portrayed in comments you were saying about her. I don't think she was high on drugs or any of that. Maybe she was hungry. She was definitely hot. And them wigs with the bangs, it gets very, very hot underneath there and on top of those lights. So it is what it is. I'm just Ace nodded with what Laverne said. Yeah, I don't and then the whole Ace block Laverne, and I was like, okay, there's a lot of stuff going on that we didn't see. It was a lot. But I'm not mad at Precious. I'm not mad at Precious' reaction. I'm not mad at her feeling away. Here's the thing, like these people, these shows, they take certain scenes, they depict like your narrative, your storyline, this whole thing. So I'm not mad at exactly. That's Precious's personality. So I feel like if she's passionate, if she's expressing herself, that should not be a grounds to say, "Are you high?"
Okay, the one thing I'm gonna give it to you on that, as far as accusing her of being high, because we said a lot of people said the same thing about Ace, and Ace is very calm and zen. Ace is very, just like I've never seen Ace's voice is always like this. And this is her. So they were like, I don't know what she is smoking, but I want some. Everybody's been saying that about Ace this whole season. So just because Precious has a different type of personality, I don't I'm gonna say that we can't assume that it's high or drunk or something like that.
Right.
Um, I do think, and the sweat and the I'm not going to say anything about that because I've been under them lights and it's a lot. So on set, so it's hot and the sweaty, and she's in that tight dress. So I'm not going to say anything about that. I do think that she was on 100, and I do think that she felt the need to what do you call it uh defend herself this
Yeah.
whole episode. And honestly, the only one person I think got a bad edit was Tori. There's a couple of other people that probably got a bad edit, but I think Tori got a bad edit, excuse me. I do think they tried hard to portray her as this party girl, but I was not believing it. I do think that she was really ready to meet somebody, but she felt that she had to defend herself. And I think that she tried to play the game as well. And she got kind of caught up in playing the game a little bit too much. I do think that she was just it was less about meeting somebody after a while and having a good time. That's what I think. I think she didn't have to keep, why call all the ladies behind the scenes and talk about Laverne or talk about such and such? Don't do that. If you want to focus on on meeting somebody or whatever, then focus on that. That's what I think. And I mean, she just was very much defending herself and being on 100 this whole time. That's it.
Mm.
Yeah. Why Ace is a witch? Was created. Oh, are we already there?
Yeah, that was pretty much all that was left.
Yeah.
I mean, we can talk about the Golden Girls comment.
Okay, we can go with the Golden. Listen, now my thing is starting to move independently. 1 second. Okay, the Golden Girls comment. I did. Are you doing that?
What is happening?
This thing is starting to act up on us again. 1 second, y'all. So the Golden Girls comment, I actually think that he was just saying, listen, you catty little girls or you catty women sitting in the kitchen, but not about them being old. I actually did not think it had anything to do with them being old. Because you're right, Precious is one of the youngest ones. Tina's
It's
younger.
Sabrina.
And Sabrina, but Tina's the youngest, and then Precious, and then Sabrina. So I didn't think that. I just thought that all of them coming at him, he called them the Golden Girls. He could have called them.
But I'm like, but they're saying it's kind of, it's.
He was calling them catty girls. That's
But
what
the thing is, they're agreeing on something that he said. They weren't trying to be messy. It was just like, no, I heard you say that, and I heard you say that too. So what was the point in calling them the Golden Girls? It was kind of like, are you trying to deflect from the truth that you really did say that you were going around saying that? And it's like he never really acknowledged, yeah, I did say that, but I'm happy with Carmen now. It could have been left there, but
I
to
think he
go
could have
to the
said something
Golden
like
Girls and never really address the comment, he guilty. So, was that Penny? But yes, make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button. And that was our little portion for the Ready to Love reunion part 1. Now we're gonna get into Put a Ring on It season 3, episode 6. Yeah, so we're gonna wait for Crystal to get Lil Penny together, and we will get started with Put a Ring on It. That's what I took it as. That is what I took it as. Because to say Golden Girls, all them that's what the Golden Girls were known for, was for being older. They weren't necessarily known for other things. So to say that was kind of like, okay, and then for Joy to be Kiki and ha ha ha, and like, it wasn't that funny. It wasn't that funny. But exactly, never addressed the comment. He was deflecting.
I do apologize, y'all. I'm back now. So, okay, here we have Miss Shay, and she is. I, I'm gonna go straight to it. I'm not even talking about the fight with the plate and everything. Sis, this man is not your spouse. He's not your spouse. And um, Dr. Ponytail, she said, and her, because she has a very melodic tone as well. I don't want to. Please don't take offense, but Shay, he is not your spouse. That is very different than a marriage. He is your boyfriend. You are his girlfriend. And Miss Shay, that is, you are in a different mind space than he is. He is still dating you. He is not there where you want him to be. And I don't remember, and I'm trying, if y'all remember the exact words she said, you are making me emotionally spent, or something like that. One of the last things she said before they got out of this little um counseling session. And I said, right there, you said a lot. And then he's laughing, and he's come on now, and he's just laughing with his overbite is just like kicking. His overbite was kicking. And she's like, see, and he's
Not
laughing. And
kicking.
she was like, what is so funny? The Dr. Penny said, what is so funny? She is telling you a lot and you're laughing. And she said, I am emotionally drained from you. And the fact that he kept laughing, that said a lot. Um, the fact that she thinks that this is my spouse, and he won't acknowledge me. Sweetheart, he doesn't look at you as his spouse, and you are asking for something that you're not going to get. And honestly, I do think that she's so used to the chaos, 3 years of this chaotic behavior, this up and down, not being accepted by his family, all of these different things, that she's used to it. She now, that's all she wants, is to be acknowledged and accepted, not by just him, but his family, by everybody. And it's not what you want. It's not what you're gonna get. I do want to address something that you had said earlier, that about his. Oh, we'll get to it when we look at the moms, when we talk at the mom and the sister. But yeah. Mm.
Yeah, it was. I feel like that's such. What is her name, Dr. Nicole? She made such a good point, because it's like I feel like as women we see the potential, and then we start saying, well, that's my husband, that's my baby daddy, and we think it's funny and it's cute, but it's like that's not our reality. Like Dr. Nicole said, that's not your reality. That's not like what's really happening. And I feel like as women we can learn, maybe some men too, we're jumping the gun and
Wait,
we're expecting too much when that commitment hasn't been given.
absolutely. And we always say, I'm sorry if I interrupted you. We always say, don't have wife, you're acting like a wife and you're not
Wife privileges,
thank you.
yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. But Monique, what's not her reality? You said, Crystal, you don't know that. I don't know that he's not her spouse. We all know that they're not married. So even though she may think of him as her spouse, or she said, to me, he's my spouse, but to him, he's not your spouse.
Right.
And to everyone
Right.
else, and to the law, to what is this? They're in Atlanta, to the state, he's not your spouse. So it's not going to be that. That's not going to be the case. It's not common law. Common law is 10 years. You've only been with him 3 years, and unless common law has changed, it was 10, but that's in California. So he's not your spouse. To her reality and his reality, to the man you're with, is two different things. It's kind of sad, actually. And I feel like, I don't know, we've seen this so many times that she knows it. She knows what she needs to do, but she may not do what she needs to do, is make that move. Okay, good God. You go ahead.
Here was Otis Jr. and Otis Sr. And Otis' dad's advice was basically to listen to Charlana, and he'll realize that there's things that she's right on. And that was Otis's face the whole time. Like, I am not listening to her. I don't care what she got to say. Then he said, well, I be listening. She just don't know it. And he's like, well, why don't you assure her that you're listening? Why don't you let her know? So the dad gave great advice as usual. I don't think Otis was hearing it or wanted to hear it. And yeah, what?
No, go ahead. I was laughing at Miss Creative, or I was laughing at Monique. Go ahead.
But yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. But I thought it was good advice for Otis. I think that's what he needed to listen and actually act on. But I felt like it was just going in one ear and out the other. I don't think he don't care to listen to that girl.
He absolutely don't care to listen to that girl, and he wants to be, and he always says, I don't want to argue. You want to argue, you want to have it your way. His dad gave great advice, and his dad was very analytical, and his dad was it took the way of just communicate with her. And it makes perfect sense that well, I listen to her, she just doesn't know that I'm listening to her. What? So you'd rather, and I honestly think that he likes to be sneaky and a little bit underhanded. So I'm just gonna sit here and let her think that I'm not listening, or I'm just gonna sit here and just like, let her feel some type of way and be emotional while I'm not listening. I think that that's really sneaky and underhanded of him to do that. So, and he likes being that person. Also, he said something very interesting. He was like, how are you so patient? If you're not a patient person, he didn't like the way that his dad and mother moved when before she passed away. I'm sorry that his mother passed away, but at the same time, I think that if he thinks that his father is, such a good um has such a good mindset and knows what to do, and he said my father has great advice, then take that advice. I almost think that he kept saying, I'm just going to take my dad's advice to placate us. Like, he just kept saying it. Just, I was like, sir, you said that 3 or 4 times this whole episode. You're not taking your father's advice. You're just saying that you're going to take your father's advice, but you're not really doing it. I just think he doesn't listen. He doesn't like to listen. He wants to do his own thing, and he wants more of a submissive woman, and that's it. So yeah, he was really more interested in just sitting there and having a beer with his dad. Yeah, and also look, yeah, he never talked to his dad before.
That's what it was like. That's why I was like, how much of this is for TV?
Yeah,
even
absolutely.
with the talk with Shay, I'm like, they never sat you down and said this to you these past 3 years.
Absolutely,
But
I agree.
I
agree with this, and I don't know at what point did his father, but did his mother ever meet Shay before she passed away? I don't know when his mother passed away.
Yeah, I don't know.
Before he and Shay got together, it was just a lot. It was just it just really seemed like it was for TV, especially this segment specifically. Well, other segments too, but this segment specifically was just something to do, because he's like, my dad's a good guy. I'll sit and have a 5-minute conversation with him, or an hour conversation that you guys are just going to cut down. You and these clips are hilarious. First of all, Shorty is literally super tiny, and I actually think Dakia is super tiny. But you just like, I'm sure that was pulled off of Google, but that is hilarious. Okay, are you ready to go?
I'll go. So Listen, I could not stop laughing. I don't,
I
it's
agree.
not funny. It's really not funny. But the fact that she was like, you, when she was like, you like women that are out of your league, that are established, and you're not that. You're not that. You don't have that. So I don't know how you think you can attract what you don't have. And here's my thing. A lot of people want to fall back on the she's on the show to escape this relationship safely, but I think people aren't really holding Shorty accountable. There's a reason why Kenneth was able to sneak in and sort of stay longer than he was supposed to, and I think that's because she doesn't like to be alone. So because that because that happened, it's like because you were just itching to get with anyone, a dude like Kenny or Kenneth, whatever his name is, got in. And now you have to deal with the consequences. You can't put it all on him and you're not established, you're not this, and he lied and this. You you chose this man. You allowed him in your house. You gave him access to certain things. So to say now that he's you're out of his league and all this stuff, but then it's my brain was swarming because there's so many sides to it. We're not going to get every side, and everyone always wants to come in my comments about she's being attacked and blah blah blah, and she tried to leave before and he wouldn't let her leave, and I get it, but this show, you cannot say that's solely the reason she came on the show. It seems like she wants exposure too, but it seems like there's other reasons she came on the show, and there's other ways to go about this. Coming on a TV show was not the only resolution to getting out of this relationship.
Okay, I will agree with you on the first point. We should not be laughing, but it is funny. I'm sorry. We should not. And honestly, just like I said last week, so you were trying to figure out what episode. So she started in episode 3 where she started to cut him down. Remember last week I said she cut him down to the white meat, right?
Right.
And then this episode, she just started chiseling and chiseling and chiseling some more. She started going at him some more. I do see your point that Shorty did. I do think that this is the guy she picks. She picks these type of guys, and just like even with the guy next week that she's going out on a second date with, she likes the younger type of guys. I'm like, girl, you like these type of guys. You like these younger guys but but although she likes these younger guys, I think that there is something up here that and he is attracted to her, right? And he was like, that look right there, that's what got me every time. And I'm like, Kenneth, if this if she don't want you, she has basically said, I don't want you. I don't want you. She at the dinner scene, she said, if you feel this way, then go get you somebody who you are going to feel better with because I'm not it. She has not said, I'm sorry for talking to you like that. She has not said, I would like you to, well, how can I help you do, what did he say? He wants to do a food blog, Skinny Fat Kid or whatever. Let's do the food blog together. Like, I don't know, Kenny and Shorty or whatever. No, she's not doing any of that. She was like, I think that you go for these women that are out of your league and then
Oh my
you don't
goodness.
want to build yourself up. Like she was going in. What did J Dub say? Kenneth don't have nowhere to stay or dental plan. That's true. But does Shorty have a dental plan? I think that she's just been on the come up just recently. Um, and she has some insecurities too. Okay, she is older, and I thought that so when he goes off, and I think that he is trying to watch himself, because I think that when he goes off, he really goes off, and he's like, "You must like me for something, because look at you, you're 40 years old, and look at you, you with me, so I must be doing something right." And she's like, "Well, you might not be doing nothing right soon with that type of comment right there. So now you going at my age, so I'm 40, so what?" Like, she was so it's almost like she was waiting for it to happen. She was waiting for him to attack her age. I actually thought that he was younger than 35. I still do. I don't think he's 35. I think he's like maybe 30 or 32. But so what? So she's old. She's 40 years old. You've been she's been tried to leave at least twice, but you keep wanting her back. You're trying to prove yourself to this woman. Um, I agree with you
But
that
she
there's
didn't
different
start
ways.
getting this attitude until the dates, until Hollywood, until the other dude came in.
But
And I
then why
felt
did
like
she do
they
that to
gave her
Hollywood?
enough confidence to think, okay, I'm not going to end up alone.
Then why did she do that to Hollywood then, and say to Hollywood, and say, I don't want to date him again because I'm actually attracted to him and I really want to stick with Kenny. Did she do it to, and she could be, let me play devil's advocate a little bit. Did she do it to stay on the show? Well, if I stick with Hollywood two more dates, then it's going to be a thing. So I need to move on to somebody else.
But
Because
I'm
what did she say
saying
to
she
Hollywood? What
really
did
didn't
she say?
start going in on Kenny until she started getting dates, until she started seeing other men were attracted to her.
But Hollywood was attracted to her. Hollywood was saying, Hollywood wanted to pray with her, and she was like, "Is this the what I've been
That's
looking
when she
for?"
started acting
But then she
crazy. It's
told Dr.
like J-Dub
Ponytail,
said, codependency.
she
There's a
told,
codependency that she's not addressing. She's making it all about Kenneth being not established, and he lied about his income, and he lied about this, and he's not responsible. Why how could a man like this get in your good graces then? How could a man like this get access to you? And it's like she's not really addressing her issues. She's just trying to point it on Kenneth not having no money.
so, but then when she told Dr. Ponytail, oh no, she said this in the ITM. She said that I better stop going out with Hollywood because I really am starting to like him. And if I really want to make it work with Kenneth, I need to not, if I really want to, show Kenneth that I love him, I need to not go out with Hollywood anymore. So Shorty fell in love with something. I don't I don't think she's loving I don't think she's in love with him. I think that she's attracted to him. I don't, but I
Or
think
she's just a
also,
good actress, because it seems like she was gathering all the evidence to just blow up his spot. It was like she was waiting for the right time to just let him have it.
she does. Now I will agree with you guys on this, you and J Dubs, that she likes a younger guy. She likes a certain type of guy to blow her head up and make her feel like she's all that. Like the guy from Next Week, the second date guy. Like, she likes that type of guy, and that's who Kenneth was in the beginning. She does like that type of guy, a guy that's gonna, you know, that she's gonna feel like she's got arm candy with. I do think that. But I do think that Kenneth Kenneth needs
I
to stop
think
being all calm on camera. We need to see that crazy side of him.
I
But
think
we are
that's
seeing that,
part of what she's trying to do as
Amy.
well.
Amy,
She's trying to get evidence of him
we are
acting a
seeing
fool.
that. And I think that that's what he's doing. He's calming down, just like fixing her breakfast and saying, "Well, let's talk. I don't really want to talk about that right now." And then she was like, "You don't want to talk about that now? You want to get, why don't we, let's talk about that now?" And so he
And
started
she
going
still
in
blew up
here
at the dinner. It
and
was
blew up at the dinner. That's what I was about to say. And then blew up again at the dinner. He's showing it. He's trying to pull it in. He can get there. Yeah, I see his crazy side. I see the crazy side of Kenneth. It's there. It's there.
right. It's like she's I don't even know the word, but it's like I'm right. I know I'm right, and I'm gonna stand on this. Like it's like you were wrong at some point to let him in your apartment, your life, all. So I'm over it. I understand what y'all are saying. Like, you've never been in that type of situation, yada yada. I understand that, but she's got accountability in this as well.
So, okay, and you know what? I think this was Stay Tuned Reviews just said something. She's really trying to push these blind dates on him too. She,
Yeah.
she's really, I said, gosh, it is obvious that you really want him to like one of these girls.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Okay, first, before we go and talk about what they said, well, first of all, I love Auntie. She is giving this hair, the green headband. Misha has some pink and red ones on her on Queen of Life.
Oh my goodness,
But
Crystal.
then she's got the gold necklace, like the fatigues, the camouflage was just like all over. She said, "Oh, I gotta match the green and gold with this green and gold with it, and then the red." Like, yes, that was such a country mama look. So the aunts, they came to visit, and her mother said something. She said that I went through this with your
She
father
said she
and
went through it with everybody. She's
with the
like, my boyfriend in
stepfather.
high school, your
But
daddy, the
the,
stepdaddy, your uncle. I'm
I
saying not the
think
uncle.
I think that I think what she was saying was that in the beginning they didn't want me around their family, but then I had to say that this is what I expect, this is what I want. And it's almost like she was saying that you have to put down some boundaries. You have to speak up and you have
Right.
to say what you want. And what's also obvious was, what's her name, Shay? When Fonzo would say, well, with my mom and my ex, da 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 da, like he would give her these excuses, and then she would say, okay, well, let's go with the flow. That was absolutely the opposite of what you should have done. I was absolutely the opposite of what you should have done. But you're just like, oh, well, now let's go with the flow. So that's all he's expecting is still go with the flow. Now he just laughs her off. He's not interested in hearing what she has to say, or he'll hear it, but he's not going to do anything about it. He's not going to do anything to change it. So it's really kind of sad. It's because she's sitting there crying. It's almost like she thinks, and some women think this, that, well, if I leave him, and I think that she said that she's tried to leave once before. Shorty said she's tried to leave twice. She said she's tried to leave once before.
But
uh,
she came, that's a different situation.
True.
Shay left and came back on her own will. So
Right, but she thinks that if she leaves and his next person he'll marry. So what? So she's like, I'm gonna I'm preparing him for his next love or something like that. You got to get that out of your head. She's like, well, I just don't want to give up. Girl, this man don't want you. Mm. I like the mom and the sister. I honestly, I feel like they said more, but it was cut. I feel like there was more, absolutely more to this whole scenario. Um, the mom said that I've been through this with both, but she also said that her mother was married to her father for 20 years and her stepfather for 15 years. So these were not short relationships as well. So that also says something to me too. That there's longevity there. This is not just something that was that putting her foot down and putting up those boundaries that meant something to those men. So go ahead, Misha. What are y'all saying? Go ahead.
yeah, so I felt like it was kind of a red flag that the mom went through the same thing as well, which made me think, is this something in the bloodline where the mama just don't, the family just never likes you? Is it like a personal, like deep rooted issue? Like, why don't none of these men's family like you? So that was kind of a red flag to me. I felt like the mom's advice was good though, setting those boundaries, letting him know what works for you, what you need in life and all that stuff. That was good. And I don't think here's the thing. This advice that the mom and aunt were giving, I really, even Otis's dad, I don't feel like that was the first time they've heard that. I don't like that, just doesn't make any sense to me. If they're this heavily involved in your life, why would this be the first time that you're hearing this advice? So I have hope for Shay though. I feel like Shay is getting it now. Like now it's clicking. I don't know if the cameras make it more real or it like hits harder that all this is being filmed. But I feel like Shay's kind of starting to get it a little bit more. So
I
it's
think
right. It's not the family, it's Alfonso. It
right.
starts with him. And the whole laughing thing. The whole okay the laughing thing when she was like, I want him to stop laughing. And then he kept laughing. But I am just like, at what point do you realize he don't care? He's gonna keep doing things the way he wants to do them because that's what you've accepted this whole time. You can't really come up 3 years later and say you want different from him. I just don't think I don't think that's realistic at all. I just think you got to count it as a loss and move on. So what if y'all break up and he marries the next girl?
Oh, what? I
Just know that she's going through the same thing that you went through with them. So
mhm.
you shouldn't feel no way about it. So I
No, I absolutely agree. I think that you women, you guys, you cannot feel any type of way about that. You really dodged a bullet. If you feel that way, you need to just cut your losses and go. You This is 3 years out of your life, and you're not happy. This is not what you want from a man or a relationship. J. Jeb said it's not his family, it's it's Alfonso. I totally
right.
agree with that. In the beginning, we said that, oh, is this just nervous laughter? But no, this is him. This is like, he's like, oh, she's just being extra. Like, no, that means that he's not considering you. Shay
What
wants to.
does Shay do? I'm curious to know, like, if she supports herself financially or if she's relying on Alfonso financially.
I
I'm
don't
curious because
know.
that would play a role in maybe why she's sticking around. I don't know.
Because I wonder, does she an esthetician? I can't remember what she actually does for a living.
The
Um,
mom did say, "Oh, you working from home now, baby?
that's
How do
right.
you like that?" And so
That's
I
right. She
don't.
did say that. I just think that Shay needs to just move on. He's never going to give you what you want. You want somebody to pay attention to. You want to be acknowledged and represented in this relationship, but he is not your spouse. He doesn't consider you his spouse, and he's never going to take accountability. So I just feel like, girl, you've got to move on. If you're this unhappy. She's so unhappy. She's so unhappy. Uh, if she just wants his money, she wouldn't be crying and begging him to marry her. She'll just put up with the mess. But she's been putting up with the mess for 3 years, right? She wanted to meet the mother 3 years ago. She doesn't have any kids. He has kids. He doesn't really want more kids. So stop trying to like grasp onto any little morsel of what he says. He does not want more kids. He's got 3 or 4 kids. He doesn't want more kids. So if this is what you want, a marriage and a family, it's not going to be with Fonzo. So he thinks it's a joke. Hold on, I got mouse control issues. Sorry. Thank you. He thinks it's a joke and he knows she's not going in. And that's another thing. You need to actually make the move to go somewhere. You need to actually make the move to let him know that you're serious and that you're not going to put up with it. I don't know. We said that she was in it for the red bottoms, it's J Dubs, but I don't know. Now I'm getting I don't know. Is she still in it for the red bottoms in the cars? She plays in makeup for a living. Her face be beat in these ITMs though. I gotta say.
Yes, face, hair, lace be laid, outfits be on point. So hey,
Monique, you're too funny. Okay, Wait,
I was so
okay.
pissed. I was so
Odell
mad
Beckham
at
Jr.
this.
Jr. Odell Beckham Jr.'s Jr. Odell Beckham's Jr.'s Jr.
I just don't like a man with dye in his hair. It just doesn't sit right with me. I don't like it.
Y'all, Odell Beckham's Jr.'s Jr. I am gonna say this before I get into the date of it all, that she was pulling the spite card, though.
Yes, she was.
She absolutely came and sat down on that. I didn't like her. I don't like those shoes though. I don't. I've
The
seen them.
shoes, the dress, the
I don't like.
hair, the jean jacket with the collar
Just
flipped up. It none of it went together. I
none of
was
it
like,
went together.
you look silly.
Yeah, none of it went together. I actually don't like those shoes on GP. They're not comfortable. You can wear some cute heels and those strappy heels,
Right.
but at any rate, the whole outfit did not go together. Did you throw on a jacket because you were going to wear that and then realized it was raining outside? I don't know, but that the outfit didn't go together. But she did that out of spite. She made sure and walked in, and I don't even know if this was production. Told them, "Oh, walk and sit down on the couch and have a conversation with your man before you leave." I don't know, but that absolutely, so he can make a comment about this dress. That absolutely was out of spite. Uh, but the fact that he's sitting there and saying, "Well, I'm going to take my father's advice. I'm going to take my father's advice. I'm going to take my father's advice." No, he's just saying, "Well, I did put you in an awkward position, and I'm sorry about that." Boy.
Can we talk about this? We got to talk about Brent when we get to it.
Oh
But go
yes,
ahead.
we can talk about Brent. Absolutely, we got to talk about Brent. But yeah, the whole before the date was just absolutely out of spite. She does like to throw, because he is somebody that is full of double standards. So she's getting fed up with it. So she's like, okay, it's almost like, how you were saying about Shorty, now that she's getting these dates, now that she's getting motivated, and now she's getting some self-esteem. I almost think the same thing, not almost. I feel that way about Charlana here. That okay, so now I know what to do. So since you want to DM old girl, since you want to play that game, you know what? I got some cards to play too. So she's doing it this way, and it was out of spite.
I
Let's talk
think
about
Oh,
this.
sorry. Go ahead.
She should have asked for another date with the future congressman. I absolutely agree with that. Brent had everything, the full package. And
Where is Brent? Give him our number.
yes, please.
Give him Crystal's number. She's the one that's in Atlanta. But
Besides that, I honestly think that, and I hate saying this, Charlana, or Charlie, but the reason why you didn't want to do that is because, what's his name? Otis has already seen Brent, and you almost feel like you didn't have a leg up with Brent that you had with
okay.
Odell Beckham Jr. See, with Brent, and I actually think that Brent did hold some guards. What did he say? He wanted to be an astronaut, and he has things going for him. But you just didn't. You wanted to change it up a little bit to make Otis feel some type of way. So let's go into this date. Go ahead. Well, you know what?
I'll say this. I'll say this because Charlana should have talked to Otis's daddy, because Otis's daddy said it takes two to fight. So the fact that she keeps, okay, he's controlling, he's manipulative, and all these things, but it's like the fact that she keeps feeding into it, the fact that she keeps like going out of her way to try and get him back. It's like, now you're a part of the problem. Now you don't have the leg room to put all of it on, what is his name? Otis. Now you got to take some accountability in this. The date, the dress, I think the dress was a fail. First of all, the polka dots, why it was polka dots and the back was out, why, like, it just, then it was
trying to be an updated dress, but then the polka dot
didn't make any sense.
Yeah, the polka dot ages the dress. It makes it look 1960s or 1950s, but then with the back out, it updated it. So it was okay to me. You know what? It did what it was supposed to do because she wanted to show Otis, listen, two can play that game. So,
Otis didn't care. At least that was his
oh,
tactic in acting like he didn't care.
he
And Mr.
cared.
Odell Beckham liked it.
Right.
He when she took off that jacket, he sure
He
was
said,
looking.
okay. So let's talk about Odell Beckham Jr.'s Jr. Okay, so first of all, these dates, they chopped these dates up. So first he said he's of course we could tell that he's an athlete, right? Then he said he went to Stanford. Okay, so you got a scholarship to Stanford. And she said, oh, but at the same time, you're a smart athlete. Nobody just gets, so he had to be doing something to get to Stanford. True. Um, but on scholarship or on the foot as an athlete. Uh at the same time, they immediately start talking about sex and that his ex had a high sex drive. And I said, if this was a 4 hour or 2 hour date, this is what that I said, is this what y'all pulled out of this date? Really? So I'm just like, Charlie, why didn't you just bring the congressman back? Because this is just stupid. This is just silly. You got what you wanted. Um, and then immediately I said, he has seen the show because he kept saying stuff. Well, if I get a second date with you, then maybe I will tell you more about it. Or if I get a second date with you, I said, oh, you know what to say. You've been making this move. Like they honestly, I feel like they did this on purpose because of what happened the couple days before with Otis. That's what I think. I just like Odell Beckham's Jr.'s Jr. Just stop. Just stop. Go ahead.
I agree. I wish they would have picked someone
Absolutely.
else. Like
I
when
agree.
he first sat down, you could see he not about nothing. He's not about a relationship. He's not about anything serious. And then to sit there and say, "Well, I've dated women with boyfriends before." It's like, is that what you're looking for? And even Charlana pointed it out, like, is that what you're used to? So you don't have to give much of yourself and you can just get what you want and go. And he's like, oh, no. And I'm like, no, yes. So yeah, I agree, J Dub. I don't think there was really a connection
Right. It
here.
wasn't.
Charlana was trying to force it to get out her revenge, to get out her little emotions and wanting Otis to feel jealous. But if she wants to be married, no, I don't think this is it. I think she might, but I do see her asking him on a second date
I see her
just to
asking him on
spite
a second
Otis.
date for sure. I see him asking him on a second date for sure. And with the congressman, she would have to try a little harder. With the congressman, he wants more of that
Right.
longevity. With a new person, she can wear a dress with her back out and everything. Yeah, there was no connection. And I think that she knew that there was no connection. There was yeah, very low connection. It was only I was gonna say only sexual, but I don't even know if she felt sexual connection with him. I think, of course, he did, but Charlie's the
What
type to
movie
crash
is
the
that?
car to
What
prove
was
a
that? With that Tyler Perry movie?
Um,
With Taraji?
yeah, but it was Regina King that crashed the car into the because he was
No, the
cheating on her.
trailer. She crashed the car into the trailer. What was that movie? That Tyler Perry movie with Taraji, and she turned crazy
Oh,
because
Acrimony.
yeah.
I hate that. I hate that movie. But that is definitely. I don't know. I don't think that she would do that. But yeah. Ooh. Why did I get
Right, I
married? Why did I get
agree.
married? Sorry, J Dubs. Why did I get married? Yeah, I don't know. It's probably both of them. That they're both TPS. Um. Okay. There you go. You giving me them eyes. So here's the thing
Say,
about
love,
this.
I like your hair, love. That's
Yeah.
how I met you with your hair like that.
So I want to talk about this because he leaned over to get a kiss and she said, "Stop. You can't just kiss me without like something to introduce the kiss." I said, "Girl, you do not want this man. You,
Right. It is not the first date. You don't
yeah."
need no introduction.
Yeah, I said, "Oh, she does not like him. She's getting
Right.
repulsed by him." You know, how people start to have that ick, like you don't even want
But
to.
I agree with her. It's like he doesn't I agree with her on this point that he doesn't work through the issues. It's like he just tries to smooth, like paint over it and act like it's not there. So I felt like that's what he was doing on this date and coming in with the "that's how I met you," because that was his whole goal. He wanted them to feel like they did when they first met. He wanted them to remember why they fell in love. So to come in talking about her hair and her face and all this stuff, it was like it
Misha.
was him trying to get her back to that feeling of when she first met him without actually putting in the work to fix the issue of everything that's happened that we saw.
After
Who
this
knows what
man,
happened before
after
the show?
why would he do that after this woman broke him down and talked about everything but his penis? Like she, at least she didn't pull a Lindsay. And like she talked about everything. He's not financially fit, not the everything. And she just like she's she has broken this man down. And so he's still like, well, let me, let's get back to that old feeling, that old loving feeling. I just feel like and even though he's trying to do that, build back up something and make her feel whatever she felt 3 years ago, she's like, oh, stop. Just stop. Oh, he's trying too hard. It's like this girl does not want him. And she's trying to push him off on somebody else. Yeah.
Exactly. And where did he get that turtleneck from?
Oh, this is what I wanted to say. I said, why is he still dressing like a DeVry graduate? I don't get even. He said, I got my turtleneck on. I got my this. Why is he? It. I was like, who is dressing him? Do they have stylists? His hairline is good though. The hairline is good, but this like the turtleneck. Yeah, I don't know. He's just the baccalaureate
Not
for the
nephew
DeVry.
Tommy.
The baccalaureate for DeVry is killing me. It's
Not
killing me.
Tommy do be having him some turtlenecks though.
Yes. Okay. And that y'all, that's what I forgot to talk about. We'll go back after the show and talk about this. The red, the burnt orange on red. Um,
Right.
but this whole thing, she just feels like she's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm out of his league. I want a man that's um, I don't know, to set me up. She looks like I
Uh-oh.
got this young kid and I'm taking my nephew out. What did Roro say?
Oh, hold on. She said, I think Shorty's trying to make him mad enough to leave her for good. I think that's part of it, but I also think she's trying to get proof of his actions. So I think she's actually provoking him a lot. Like she's trying to get proof of his reactions, proof that she's in danger, like everyone keeps saying.
I hear you on that. And I don't dispute it because yeah, I've been seeing some other lives and I don't dispute it. But if he is taking the phone and screenshotting her bank account information and doing all of this other stuff, why aren't we seeing more of that? You know what I'm saying? I just think, Shorty, you in danger, girl. You in danger, girl.
So then I meant to do a post about this, but there I guess she did a post, made a comment, and she
Mm-hmm.
said, I explained on the show how once I realized he was lying
She did say that she
and
was already
tried
in
to
love.
leave.
Hmm.
I was being stalked, harassed, blackmailed, and extorted while in the relationship. If you think I was free to walk away without heavy consequences, then maybe you're not watching the show in its entirety. It's easy to judge from where you sit. I should be free to walk away from the relationship. He doesn't own me.
So she thinks that there's consequences. He doesn't own her, but then there's consequences. Like
Right. It's very, yeah.
he will definitely be this first suspect, Taryn. But I also think that if he's got your bank information, if he's got there's things that you can do. I don't know.
I was watching one of
I was
Bonnie Blue's lives, and
Yeah,
she
and I was
said,
watching
"Well,
Chloe's too. Go
she's
ahead.
a radio show host. Why didn't she just blast him on the radio?
Hmm.
If you can blast him on TV, why not blast him on the like? Why not?" And I'm not here to say what she should have, could have, would have, but I just feel like this is not the only option.
I agree. I don't think this is the only option. I think that especially nowadays, police and people will believe the woman. And looking at her, like how tiny she is, that they will believe if this man is manipulating her and this man is abusing her. Absolutely. So I feel like this is not the only way. So she may have done it um to get exposure. I'm sorry, she's done it for exposure, for exposing her brand, but also to exposing the true person that Kenneth is. That when he feels insecure or when he feels like he needs to, he will do some underhanded crazy stuff, and that's not right either. Yeah. Yeah, I agree that there is definitely something up because she wasn't doing this in the beginning, in the last two episodes. And Misha, you just said something earlier. You think it's also the fact that now that she's getting these other dates, now that she's feeling a little bit more motivated. I don't know if that's true. Now that she's getting the other dates, you know what I mean? With what's his name?
Getting other men's attention.
Attention. But then she's tried to leave twice before. She actually moved and he followed her. So you think that these other men's attention, or she thinks that's going to help her?
I think there is an aspect of her being afraid of being alone. I
Uh,
think that's why Kenneth was able to get as far as he did. Like I said, I think in the first review, like you were supposed to meet him at the concert, do whatever, leave him there. He wasn't supposed to move in. Like the relationship should not have gotten this far with a man like that. So
I do agree with that. That she also doesn't want to be alone. And
mhm.
I guess he met her. That's how he met she was standing on somebody else's shoulders at a concert, and and she was behind him, and he probably pursued her after that. Um, but her not wanting to be alone and wanting somebody is playing a factor in why she's sticking around. I think that might be too true. Mm. I definitely think we need to keep an eye on this whole situation because this is going to be very interesting. Uh,
Very.
very interesting. Okay. Okay, I actually want to go back and address something because Misha and we're the same side, and we watch the same things. And y'all, I don't know, is Future in here, but she always says, Crystal, you notice the most random things. Um, have y'all noticed when they were first in the first house, there were pictures on the walls. It
It was
just
a
looked more
different
lived
kitchen.
in. It was definitely a different kitchen when she went out with the soccer guy. When he threw away the flowers, it was a different place. This house, when she came and walked out in that white polka dot dress, I said, "This is this an Airbnb? Like, what is happening? Why are you in another house? Like, or was that one Airbnb and now they moved into another?" So I think, and I truly believe Shorty and Kenneth are in an Airbnb. Like this is in somebody's apartment or something like that. So I definitely think that I was wondering the same thing. Well, one, he said she has been giving me the cold shoulder since uh since the whole thing with the DMs. So instead of them going by the house, I'm like, why did they meet here? Why didn't the cameraman just meet them at the house? But something's going on with the living situation, because I just thought that was really interesting, and maybe she wanted a neutral place. I actually kind of see that, because if you're living together but you are not happy with your partner, but you still got to sleep in the bed next to him, I was like, they're just asked for a neutral place, or she asked for a neutral place. And also, something's going on with that living situation. So that's one thing. Um, he loves to say how he doesn't want to argue. And he won't take accountability. He thinks they've talked about it enough. She's like, you love to double talk me. You love to the double standard, and you didn't want me texting or DMing anybody. You didn't want me doing um, having a good time. Don't bring any gifts home. If somebody gives you flowers, don't do this. But then you go and DM somebody. You have all of these rules for me, but then when I feel like that you should adhere to those same rules, you have an issue with it. And he just doesn't, he's like, it wasn't a big deal. So I don't know what her problem is. Why is she so upset? I don't want to talk about it anymore. I've apologized enough times. And to me, this is an immature, he's taken an immature stance on it, and a stance that he's a control freak. He's controlling. He's like, I can't apologize. I'm not going to apologize anymore. If you really loved her, and people have said this all the time, you apologize and you keep apologizing and you keep apologizing until she's had enough. But you don't want to do that. So I just feel like this man, and then he said, well, you won't hear me say I don't want to talk about it anymore. She's like, so you don't want to talk about it anymore? So we're done. So because you don't want to talk about this, you don't want to talk about anything in our relationship. I was really trying to get this settled, and for you to at least take accountability and apologize, because you recognize you hurt my feelings, and you didn't want to do that. So um, I also, it's not over. It's not over. There's gonna be, what do you call it? How they, well, let's meet again, let's talk again, let's have a conversation with Dr. Ponytail and you and me, and let's have a one-on-one conversation, let's do this, let's do that, and they'll be back on track. So it's only episode, what, 4 or 5? It's not over. They're going to try to get them back on track, or it's going to be combative the rest of the season, so we can all make sure and tune in. Go ahead, go.
I agree. I feel like this is not the end of it. And I feel like him coming in with the whole I don't care, I don't want to do this today attitude. Here's the thing. His tactic, like I said in my last review, his tactic to try to gain control, like the whole DMing, what is her name? Milan, was to gain control.
Absolutely.
That backfired, that failed. And now he's sitting there with the face of like, my tactic didn't work. Now what do I do type of thing. And so I think ultimately his tactic didn't work. And now he's just like, I didn't gain the control. I didn't gain the territory. I don't want nothing to do with it. And this is kind of what happens when you date controlling men. I've experienced it. When they see that the control isn't there, when they see they're not going to get their way, they lose interest. So that's where I feel like Otis is at. It's like, I don't have the control. I don't have the power anymore. I don't want to deal with it. And that's where you see him at right now. And I think he'll come around once, if Charlana comes back and tries to have another conversation, if she comes back, if this I don't, because some women fall for the I don't care tactic, the I don't care, blah blah blah. I'm over it. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna just sit here and act like I'm unbothered. Some women fall into that and they start chasing the man. So I think that's this I don't care attitude is a part of the tactic as well. So if it really depends on if Charlana falls into it or not. So we'll see.
You're right. Some women do fall for the I don't care tactic, but I think that's more Shay. I don't know that. Well, it could be Charlana a little bit. You could be right about that. She likes the fact that he's kind of aloof. And I think same thing with Sabrina. She liked the fact that Dimitri was real aloof and Dimitri hardly ever smiles or doesn't smile. She liked that type of personality. So that could be, but I think um yeah, I just
No, men like
they're not gonna get
him, they
over it.
want it to be easy.
Oh,
They so
absolutely.
now
I totally
this
agree with you
is
on that.
Charlana making this a bigger deal than what he wanted it to be. It's too much work for him. It's tiring to him.
Yep.
He's exhausted now. So,
I agree
child,
with that.
we'll
He wants
see.
it easy. He wants to have his cake and eat it too. J Dub says that he thinks that he and Milan hooked up on the low. Even if whether they did or they didn't, he doesn't see anything wrong with it. He wants to be able to do what he wants to do and not and for Charlie not to have an issue with it. And when she has an issue with it, like you said, it's too hard for him. He wants it to be easy, and he didn't like that she's not making it easy for him and she's not getting over it. He wants her to get over it. I feel like that's pretty much what he said. Like, I'm over it, get over it. Like, and not, no, I'm not going to get over it with if you don't actually understand what you did wrong. Listen to me for once and apologize and be respectful. And so she feels like she's not being respected, and he doesn't like that she is like taking a stance. Yeah. But I do want to say, Donna D, Donna D, sorry, said I Otis was wrong for for DMing his date. Absolutely. I don't think Misha and I disagree with you on that. He was wrong for DMing the date, and then he's like, "Oh well, we both have mutual people in common." I don't care who you think you have in common. That wasn't cool. And even if you were just DMing her just to network with people you have in common, you but the way he has been double talking her, the way he has been, what is it called? The double standard, that's her issue with it. He put down all of these rules about no texting people, no this, no that, no this, no that. If that were the case, then she could have some male friends. If that were the case, then she could be able to do that too. And I think that's where she has an issue with it because of his insecurities, and it's not easy for him. So that's what I have the issue with him. It's not even the DM. Yes, it could have been a harmless DM, J Dubs, but you just said, and he wanted to see more. And as a matter of fact, he's the one that was like, I want to go watch her DJ, but maybe I shouldn't do that. So it was just been in his head. He's been checking her out, Milan, for a while.
This was tactic though, because why
Absolutely.
was he able to just say no? I don't want to go on another date with Milan after all of that. After
Absolutely.
all of that, to just say no, no, I don't want to go on another date with her, and I'm like, so I really feel like he was using Milan. I don't think he really had any genuine interest in her.
No, it was all control. It was all a tactic, and he wanted to. That's why he was checking her out. He said, "Let me do my research on her." So yeah, it was tactic, and he didn't have to have actual interest in her to see what she was about and do some research and recognizance mission. What did Roro say? These people got too many rules not to even be engaged. But the person that has the rules is Otis, not Charlie. Mm. Hey, Kimberly. He likes the young Thundercat. I agree with you. Not the young Thundercats. Yes. And also her issue is the fact that he said it on camera. Why didn't he say it to me one on one? But he waited till we were on camera in front of the other couples to say something. That's another issue. That's a form of disrespect to her. If we are somebody he wants to have a conversation with off camera, one on one about their relationship, I just feel like that's one of the things that he had a stimulation about. Let us talk one on one. And then he does this, oh, I DM'd her in front of the other couples. That's another issue she had. Yeah. So that's it, y'all. That's it. So she thinks, she's like, okay, this is over. And now he wants to talk. That's what I also got from it. Go ahead. What do you, Misha? What do you
I
think?
got nothing. I am done.
I got nothing. This so next week is, oh, I do have to say, what did you think of Uncle Nephew Tommy's suit? I know what I think.
I mean, it wasn't any different from what he always wears, but
Sorry, you need to mix it up. If you're gonna do the burnt orange pants and jacket, you could do a black, you could do something under a white, something under it. The red turtleneck was too much. It was too much. When a woman's fed up, ain't nothing you can do about it. Ain't nothing you can
amen.
do about it. Absolutely. Yep. Ain't nothing you can do about it. So next week is part 2. Misha, do you know if there's going to be a part 3 of RTL?
I only heard of a part 2.
Thank
That's all I
God.
know.
Thank you. Thank you. So, and then we'll be doing put a ring on it, and let us know if there's any other shows you guys want us to start to review. Um, yeah, what else is coming? There's a lot of stuff coming up, so y'all just stay tuned and definitely put your notifications on because Misha and I got a lot going on.
Yes, thank
Yeah.
y'all for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe and come back next week and we're going to do this all over again.
We're gonna do this all over again. Thank y'all. And sorry about, Penny had to make her appearance this evening. Good night.